So I was scrolling through my Facebook comments on a post earlier today, and somebody had said something really positive about the idea that I've got for a challenge next month. But they'd asked, "Are you a fitness trainer?" And I was like, "Oh God, this person doesn't know me." And it was really weird because I have so many of my clients and people that I've worked with that are connected with me on Facebook. But I'd never kind of stopped to really think about all the new connections that I've made, and especially those new connections that I've made that have come into this group. And I was planning on doing lives anyway in relation to movement and running and all that good stuff. And I thought I should probably do one on who the hell am I, and why am I talking to you about this stuff in the first place. And it's always the hardest one. I don't like talking about myself. I love talking about movement, running, teach you all sorts about feet, pelvic floor, core, all that kind of stuff. But try to talk about myself is just like, who wants to know? Well, you'll either want to know or you won't. So you'll either watch it or you won't, and that's okay. So I'm going to try and be brief. So my name is Kelly Victoria Thorne, and I, what do I do these days? I help people overcome pain, injuries, pelvic floor issues, particularly prolapse. That seems to be my superpower at the moment. And I like helping people that are prehabilitating or rehabilitating before or after surgery. I do a lot of work with runners, partly because I am one, and partly just because I enjoy working with runners, but also anything really. Golfers, tennis players, they're my couple of my current clients, and I like working with CrossFitters. So I used to be a CrossFit coach myself. I used to compete, so I quite like working with people that have got movement restrictions and CrossFit and stuff like that. But anybody really who wants to kind of improve the performance, whether that's in life, in a sport, anybody who wants to improve the movement and live a sort of healthier, longer, more mobile life, really. So really, I suppose I've spent the last 15 years studying, researching, learning, but also living what I now use to help others. So before I started that journey, I was a runner and I had injuries. And some of you will know this about me. I had a podiatrist that told me I had collapsed arches and that I would need to wear very expensive orthotics for the rest of my life. And a physio that told me that I would never run past 15 miles a week without hurting myself. And essentially this instilled an awful lot of fear about moving, and this mindset that there was something sort of fundamentally broken about me. And after several years of believing that bullshit, I started to think that there was something not quite right about what I was being told, and I wanted to do something about it. And it's sort of serendipitous or fate or the universe, because it was about that time that I moved to Brisbane in Australia, and had the opportunity to study athletics coaching and rehab nutrition, all the stuff that kind of goes along with that kind of fitness, starting that sort of fitness teaching journey. And I started to kind of get to grips with a better understanding of how bodies work and what they're actually capable of, and how to get the best out of them. And I was lucky enough over there to start working with my own sort of movement mentors, teachers, instructors. Some of them were instructors on the course, or the courses that I was doing. And they started to help me kind of retrain my brain around my own body and how to sort of fix it, make it better. They helped me understand that my feet weren't broken, and in need of orthotics, but they actually needed strength and flexibility. This is just an example, to help them recover and get better at supporting me again. And I came to realise that more is not always better when it comes to exercise. And I started to shift from what I call an exercise mindset now towards more of a movement mindset, and understanding that it's not necessarily what you do, but sometimes it's how you do it that matters. And I started to sort of strip away the movement baggage that I've been accumulating over the years of wearing high-heeled shoes, years of sitting and studying and not moving particularly well. Doing lots of exercise, you know, doing tons and tons of exercise. I was you know, I was definitely the gym bunny and all that kind of stuff. But my movement wasn't great, and I was taking all that movement baggage into those exercise sessions and not getting the best out of them. And I thought I was doing really, really well. You know, I was on this journey. I was understanding more about how things were, you know, things were improving. My movement was improving. My feet were improving. I was getting my arches back. I was getting less pain in my hips, knees, ankles, etc. And then I got cancer. And I got cancer in my right butt cheek, like you do. So a bit like breast cancer, found a lump, a very big lump as it was, and finished up having to have a couple of surgeries, which removed not only the tumour but also some of the muscle in my butt cheek. So I was missing some of that, some of my glutes essentially, which is less than ideal, and that sort of kick-started yet another range of movement issues, and it also created a pelvic floor issue, which I'm not going to massive depth now, but essentially your glutes and your hip muscles balance your pelvic floor muscles, if you like. So the fact that I'd had this surgery, this traumatic kind of event in my butt cheek, meant that I developed a pelvic floor issue as well. So anyway, cutting a long story short, I had to find ways of helping my own body recover and rehabbing myself through that entire situation. And some of that came down to movement patterns, some of it came down to needing some pelvic floor work doing. But cutting a very long story short, I found ways of helping my body recover. I got it to the point where it was even better than it was before, which was something I was very surprised about. But to the extent that I finished up, I think it was about 18 months after the surgery, I ran the 100-mile stage race in the Himalayas, out in the Himalayas, without a single major issue or a blister, which I was very pleased about. Needless to say, I had to run over those 15 miles that I'd been told that I would only ever be able to do. I had to run well beyond that to do the training for that. And yeah, I did have some niggles. You know, it's like the moving better, performing better, getting better. It's a journey. It's not a destination. But I do remember standing on top of one of the mountains while I was out there looking across Everest and sticking two fingers up at all the medical professionals that had told me that, yeah, that I would never make it out there or never get any better. So now I help others get to their movement goals, and it has taken me it's taken me 15 years to get here. It's taken me a lot of work, it's taken me a lot of studying, and essentially I feel like I've learned and earned my way to speaking to you today, and to teaching and helping others. You know, I've been on so many different trainings, some short, some years long, and I've got lots of bits of paper telling me I'm qualified in all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff, everything from biomechanics, sports therapy, rehabilitation, strength and conditioning, CrossFit, Pilates, yoga. I've even taught spinning back in the day. I'm trying to think what else we've got. I'm a healthy foot specialist, barefoot coach. God, there's all sorts on that list. And it's because there's no one size fits all. You know, there's so many different movement modalities out there, but the more I have in my tool belt, the more effective I can be at helping the people that I work with. And you know, my clients aren't really that interested in all my bits of paper. They're really only interested in how I can get them from where they are now, which is typically in some kind of pain or discomfort, or restrictions, something like that, to where they want to be, which is pain-free or more able to manage it, not wetting themselves if they jump up and down, and back to doing what they love, whether that's running or golf or kicking a football with the kids in the garden at the weekend. You know, and just to give you an idea, sort of the range of people that I work with, you know, I've got Hayley, who has diastasis recti, which is the gap between the abdominal muscles after you've had children. And she was giving some serious thought to having a tummy tuck, which is it's quite a big operation. There's a lot of weeks of recovery from that. It's a serious thing, but she'd basically been told that her core was no longer functional. She wasn't, she needed this surgery essentially. and she'd been left with this absolute terror of moving. She'd been told she shouldn't lift anything heavy, she shouldn't run, and you know, it was all about mindset. And we shifted her mindset from one of aesthetics, i.e. what it looked like, to one of performance. Did it work? You know, we got her core working so that the gap, if you like, it doesn't need to close, it just needs to be strong enough to support her in what she's doing. And we got her to that point so that she's now, she's running long distance, she's lifting heavy weights, she swings kettlebells, and she's definitely not having a tummy tuck, so that's just one of them. Mark, he wants to get back to running, he is running again now. He finally, after several sessions, mentioned that he had a problem with his pelvic floor. You know, I work with women with pelvic floor. It was a bit of a surprise when he mentioned that he had pelvic floor issues, erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. And it was all about his movement patterns, his breathing, his hip function. We got him mobilised, we got him strengthened, and not only is he running again, but his sex life is a lot better, which is always a bonus, I think, isn't it? Jill, the golfer, throws her in the shoulder, just as an example. And I've got a couple of people that are coming through after knee replacements, so they're really interesting to work to. So, you know, my goal at the end of the day is to make myself redundant. I want to empower the people that I work with, give them the tools that they need to keep the mobility, keep moving, and stay as pain-free and strong as you possibly can throughout life. So that if you do finish up living to 100, you can still move when you get there. You know, just as an idea, most people come to me, they're usually with me 3 to 6 months, sometimes a bit longer depending on what's going on. We work out exactly where you are right now, where you want to get to, and then a plan of how to get there. And we look at stripping away, like I say, what I call movement baggage, all the habits that you've created over the years, the way you've moved, sat, walked, run, whatever it is you've been doing. And we strip all that away, right back to the basics, and build you back up nice and strong, so that you've got the skills that you need to see you through whatever movement challenges life throws at you. So I mean, it might not be you might not be in any pain, you might not have any niggles or problems, but you probably know somebody who does. And if you do, feel free to put us in touch. And if it is you, you know, by all means get in touch, come and say hello. I only take a very limited number of people on at any one time, because the work is so personalised and it's so in depth, because one size definitely does not fit all when it comes to movement, and I'm trying to work out where somebody's restrictions are and why they might be in pain and how to get rid of it. But if you'd like to know more, then I would be more than happy to chat to you, and we can explore what that would look like for you. So that is me in a nutshell. The boring stuff, the professional stuff, and what can I tell you about me? That's I make glass. That's one thing that you might not know about me. I like making glass art, whether that's jewellery or vases, anything like that. So there you go. I might put some pictures in the group. Nice to chat to you all. Something more movement related coming after this.